Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. Well, I tell you what, guys, it's the middle of the week. It's a rainy day, and I'm back at Jimmy's. As you saw in the last video on Project Jumping Jack Flash, our nostalgia front engine dragster, we were absolutely losing our minds. It's a multi-part series on getting this cowl done. Jimmy has done body panel work in the past, and so have I. But as far as tackling something as difficult as this cowl, I know a lot of people probably have a different opinion that it's not as difficult as it seems, but we're newbies on this. And you know what? In some cases, we got to put our heads together, really think through the process, look at other people's designs, ask a lot of questions, request a lot of feedback from the pros and people who have done this a lot, and really just get to work and doing it. In the last video, we ended it. It wasn't quite complete. Still needed some finishing work, still needed some trimming, and all that type of fun jazz. Well, I get here, and Jimmy's been working off camera as I've been working my normal job, and he's got a lot done. Where we're at with it now, I'm going to show you what he's done here just here in a second, but where we're at now is if you look at front engine dragsters, they have an area that's cut out where the driver goes down in and there's a cowl. He had some help today coming over there and helping design that. He hasn't cut it yet. He wanted my input on that. So yeah, this video is kind of the ending maybe of, losing our minds with body panel and cowl fabrication. It has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. It's really starting to look like a dragster again. I'm tired, and I know Jimmy's tired. We're all tired. Besides our normal jobs, our normal daily routines, we have been going ham trying to get this dragster done. I've been making phone calls off camera on getting stuff certified, where I can go to do that, how I'm going to get licensed, and all that fun jazz. I do got to give a big shout out to Brian from B&R Racing. He came down and provided a whole lot of help, which is much needed, and he is an expert mechanic with a soon-to-be awesome 70 Trans Am. The guy knows his stuff. He works like a machine, and he is just a wealth of knowledge. So much appreciated, Brian. Can't wait to see you again this next Sunday. He's doing a lot of stuff for us in the background as far as, setting up a rear end, doing work on my Vertex Magneto. He's going to be checking valve springs. He's just one of those all-around good guys and one hell of a wrench. So with that, guys, I'm rambling. Jimmy's in there on the phone. We're about ready to get to work. About ready to get back to work. I'm tired. Sorry, it's been a long week already. But I'm going to show you what we actually got going on and what has been finished on this cowl. See you in a second. All right, so if you saw in the last video on the front here, this cowl hadn't been trimmed yet. Jimmy and I did work on this on seeing where it needed to be cut and made some lines, but we didn't do any cutting on it until everything else was fitted. Like I said, this week he's been working on it. As you see, that's been cut, and it actually fits really, really, really nice, and it's flush. He also installed the steering mechanism in this with the gearbox that we already built out, and he notched the body for the actual steering shaft that comes off the steering gearbox. The reason why there's just not a hole, Jimmy and I were talking about this earlier, if you got to take this off, it's got to slide up and it's got to come down. Coming out of this will be an actual steering arm with our rod. That's kind of our next step, so that'll be another video. With that, he did go ahead and he did do the final trimming. It fits nice, really, really nice. You're going to be able to see the really nice finished product on that once it's painted. But in the previous videos, you saw us bead roll this, and with the Zeus fasteners, that all fits flush and nice, just like we did with the body panels. So here's the big part here. This is what we need to do next, is we do need to cut this out, because that's where I'm going to sit, and we got to figure out how we're going to actually make the cowl, if you want to call it the windshield. That's probably going to be a lot of work, but a lot of work's already been done. Brainstorming, guys, research really pays off. So that's where we're getting with that. It's actually looking really good. I'm digging it. You can see right there, that's where the shifter is going to be. We did design that in a good spot. I'll show you why. Because this all gets cut out right here. So we did put this in a spot where we knew it was going to work. You see that panel or that bracket right there. So the shifter will be right here, out of the way. Not in interference with the cowl, ready to rock and roll. But yeah, I'm really digging this. It looks nice. It's starting to look like a dragster again. This thing's really going to pop. Like I said, I've already got the paint. It needs to get blasted. Really what we need to do is finish up this cowl. We're going to need to put the steering on and design that. Put in a few steering rod supports that we're going to make. Install the front axle, which I know has been shipped. But with that, guys, is we're still going to need to drill the holes in the axle here. figure out the kingpin angle, get that laid back, drill it, put that into place. And then from there, we got to build the rods that come off of this. I can't think of the name. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. That go to the frame. A little bit of fabrication there. We do have the 4130 chromoly for that. That's going to tie that all in there. We also have the stainless steel heim joints to make sure everything's adjusted and all that fun jazz. So really, that's about it before this gets blasted and painted. We got a little bit of work to do, not a whole lot. I do have the rear wheels and tires. I got to go get those mounted. I'm going to show those off soon. And I'm currently working on finding the correct wheels and tires I'm looking for the front to give it that true spoked nostalgia look. You know, like the old school ones that had like the ribbed Avon tires. With that, I'm rambling. I know, as usual. I think Jimmy's off the phone and ready to work. So with that, guys, we'll see you in a few. Later. So here's what we got going on. What I showed you in the previous video, I was talking about putting a Zeus fastener in here. So what Jimmy and I did is we put the panel back up and we marked where the opening is for the steering shaft. Just a little bit too much play here on that side, and with high-speed winds, that'll actually body panel will flop. So we know we need to put a Zeus fastener tab in this area and punch a hole. However, if you look here, we don't have a whole lot of meat to work with, and where the actual tab lands down in here, it kind of splits between that, and we don't want to just radius this out. We want it to be solid mount. We want to keep this meat. So what we're going to do is make another one of Jimmy's awesome homemade Zeus fastener tabs that are heavy duty, but we're going to make it taller so our hole is above the meat of this metal. So when that other body panel goes over it, it's got a place that's going to secure here, hold that into place, and it'll Zeus fastener lock in place in here so everything's nice, held, and secure. So yeah, that's what we got going on right now. Some brainstorming. Actually, you probably saw in that video I was on the phone talking to Neil and Parks Race Cars about some wheels and tires, trying to get things set up so I can get those ordered, get those on here, and make it a roller. We did decide and put our brains together. The template Jimmy had, I liked it. It's in a great location for everything that we need to do. So really what we need to do is cut this out and start forming things. So there will be a cowl that's going to be put in there. But here's that piece I'm talking about. So you see here, there needs to be another hole over here. If we're put at the same height, well, that's going to be in the meat of that. It's not going to hold it. So the next hole is going to be a little bit higher. This will hold that one piece I was just showing you on their panel in place, and we'll be good to go. I'm rambling. Time to get back to work. See you soon. All right, well, it's getting late for the night, so there will be a part 5. But you know what? Jimmy and I did not lose our minds on this. We did add our Zeus fastener tab in there and got it drilled and punched. One reason we don't have it bolted down right now is we're going to have to take it off to start rolling the actual cowl on here. But you know what, guys? It's really starting to look like a race car. We got this cut out. What we got to do now is figure out where on here we're going to start rolling this lip up. The reason being is we're going to make, if you want to call it a windshield, but it's really not. It's going to sit about this tall, swoop back, and it's going to go around here. It's just basically to deflect air. But you know what, guys? It's really starting to look like a race car again. Made use of our time. I'm really digging it. Like it. It's going to be pretty cool. It's getting real close to doing what we need to do as far as blasting and paint. It's looking good.
I'm amazed.
Jimmy's amazed.
That hole, I'm amazed because the sheet metal come clear back to here. And it's just like, yeah, wasn't done. Then it's like after we got it cut out, we had to move it back originally. We had it scheduled for here, but then it has to get a roll up. So we backed it up to get more material. And then after I cut it and we both put it on here, and it's like, oh wow,
looks like a race car.
It really popped.
And the other part is too is we're going to clean up, cut this.
It's all trimmed off, but we have to wait till we get the windshield on it.
Right.
It all at once.
You're going to do it all at once, but this will get cut a certain way. But this allowed us to get a little bit more meat in here. If we'd have cut it here, it'd have been almost cutting it a little bit too close. But yeah, Jimmy, it's looking like a race car, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
We didn't lose our minds in this one, did we?
For something I've never done before, making this piece and that piece, not bad. Flat stuff I've done.
Not too bad. So we'll have a part 5 on this, making that cowl, and waiting for our axle. Tell you what, good episode. It's getting late. See you in the next one.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we get the axle tomorrow because we still got a lot of work. Like I said, we got to install that rod, make that rod, make all this stuff. Oh, earlier I was tired. I said we got to make the radius rods. You know what though, guys? Jumping Jack Flash. It's a gas, gas, gas.